Hello everyone, and welcome to another day of reflections. Yesterday we talked about a new foundation, and I had said to us that, even though the foundations may appear to be destroyed, but that God is the builder of new foundations. And as I thought about it, it struck me today that sometimes the way up usually sometimes comes first with going down. Sometimes the only way to go up is sometimes having to go down. And she will say, I don't like that. That doesn't sound like what I want. But some of us are already down. Some of you under the sound of my voice today are already down there. And I said that because God had somewhere he wanted to take Joseph to. Joseph was supposed to go up. But there was no way that Joseph would go up if he did not first go down. Joseph went so low as to become a prisoner. And if you turn to Genesis, Genesis, in the latter part of Genesis, if you read if you start from probably verse 38, you will see how, or verse 37, you will see how Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers. So let's just trace Joseph's story. First, he was very special to his father. His father loved him. He was his father's favorite. But then there were a few things. His brothers didn't like him. They were envious of him. So they sold him into slavery. You will think that that will be the worst that could befall him. Being separated from his father, being thrown into the pit. I don't know whether you've ever thought, how did he feel? Knowing his brothers threw him into the pit and wanted him dead. And then when they brought him out, he probably might have said to himself, they finally thought it over and now I'm going to leave. Well, they did think it over, he was going to leave, but they didn't bring him out to take him back home. They sold him into slavery. You can see from one trauma to the other. And then he found himself in Potiphar's house. He was doing well, but Potiphar made him the manager. And then disaster struck again. Potiphar's wife leveled an untrue allegation against him. And from there he ended up in prison. Does that sound like somebody's story? Every time you try to get up, something happens that pushes you back down again. You try to get up, it pushes you back down again. You think you are nearly out of the woods, it drags you back further into the woods than you were before. I have good news for you today. I have good news for you today. Because when all this were happening in the life of Joseph, from one trauma to the other, until finally the fullness of time came and God brought Joseph out. God did not just bring him out, God brought him out big time. God compensated him for all the things he had suffered. I just feel very strongly today that I'm talking to somebody in particular. That your time has finally come. That your time has finally come. I just feel that very, very strongly for that person. Because that day when Joseph's time finally came, it wasn't that he was released from prison. It wasn't that he was, he was given a job somewhere, something to do. No. From that pit, from that prison, he went to a glorious position, the right-hand man of Pharaoh. Can you imagine that kind of transformation? God is about to turn your story around. He's about to turn your story around. He's about to pull you out from the dumps. Hang in there. Like Joseph, stay focused on God. Don't compromise. Your story is about to change. Don't give up now, please. Do not give up now. Because your testimony is just around the corner. Just around the corner. Genesis 39 verse 21 says, the Lord was with Joseph and showed him steadfast love. God is with you and will show you steadfast love. God is with you and will show you steadfast love. Just hang in there. Your story is changing. And like Joseph, very, very soon, you will look back and you will be able to say, the devil meant it for evil, but God has turned it around for good. Your turnaround is on the way. Have a wonderful, blessed day. It's Fumi Obilano. Reflections.